Sorry, guys. My internet went out for like a second. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Uh, but I'll just go back to Emily's question because I'm assuming that's where I cut out. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Someone must have kicked the router or something. But you think being carried is a bad thing, or are you just not realizing you are? Uh, I think the problem is not that you're carried again, because I'm answering this again. I don't know if it was cut through or not, but I'm going to answer one more time. Being carried isn't a bad thing because if people who play to win should pick the best characters. What matters is that if you're playing to learn, you have to know that the character is covering for you, so you can work on those skills individually. Carry is usually used in a negative connotation, but everybody wants to play their best characters, right? There's no shame in that. Uh, the problem is that if you're a player who's trying to improve, you play a character that covers for you in a fundamental area, you're never going to learn that until you switch to somewhere else. You play Geese, you're never going to learn how to deal with people who try to move around your moves and try to move, who try to defend against you in ways like sidestep blocking. You don't learn these things because you never had to do them with Geese. You don't learn when people do them. You don't learn how to cover them. You have a counter hit launching mid homing move, right? You just fucking slap down forward two. You slap the shit out of them. That's what people did on Geese. That was like the whole thing. So they don't learn that situation ever, and you can learn a situation through putting someone else in it and seeing how they react, or being done to you. And Geese covers your defense and your offense very well. So those players never really learn what to do there, and that was it showed when they would switch to other characters or get kept at high levels of play. They didn't know what to do. So to answer your question, Emily, again, not realizing you are is the problem. You need to be aware when you're learning that a character covers for you. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So when you play these characters that cover for you, you'll probably speed through the mid level, and because those guys can't deal with you, they're not fundamentally there. But neither are you. The characters literally covering those areas for you. And when you reach the high level of play, you'll get gate kept because these guys know how to beat you. Even though the character covers for you, they'll find ways to expose that and they'll beat you. And you won't know where you're going wrong because you beat everybody else below you and you didn't understand why you beat them because it was your character, right? And like we said before, the issue is you actually have an underlying fundamental weakness because your character choice was being exploited by you, and now people are exploiting that weakness that you have that your character covered you for uh, now in this a high level of play, and you can't do anything. So you're just getting shit on, and you don't know what's going on. And the only solution to this one, which is the most common one, is to be aware of your character's strengths and properties. Like what they do well, what they cover you for, so that you can see what you need to compensate for because of your character choice. And that's tough. So a lot of times people might not even know what their character covers, but I'd recommend always switching around characters once in a while. You played a lot of I don't know. You play Abel for a minute, go ahead and go back to Ryu, see what's different. You know, you played shit ton of I don't know Steve. Go back to like Devil's In or something for a while, and just play the game and just see what's different. See what you have more problems with, and that's probably where your character's covering you. But there's honestly a lot more traps you can fall into. There's no way I could go over or even be aware of all of them. But what's important, guys, is to make sure that you're aware, like we went over in the learning video. Always be aware of what's going on, and honesty. Honesty is key to make sure you're not preventing yourself from improving. So you need to be honest with yourself when you hit a roadblock, or you lose, or you realize your character's coming for you, or you realize that people are learning faster than you. Just be honest with yourself. Don't worry about keeping up appearances or keeping up a brand or something, guys, because you're working to improve at something. None of that stuff matters. It's what hurts you more is trying to keep up an appearance or hold yourself to a standard that you're actually not. You shouldn't be holding yourself at because don't uh don't hurt yourself by trying to put yourself up. Just let the process carry you up independently. that's really all I have written down. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to in the chat now. Or if I again if I missed some stuff when I cut out before, just let me know and then we can go over it. I'll give you guys a couple minutes for that, and then probably gonna wrap up the video. And I should upload it, no problem. Might be a little weird because it cut out, but I'll figure it out. All right, if nobody has any questions, we can wrap this up. But I'm gonna give you guys, some minutes if you have anything to ask. If I made any mistakes or so you don't agree with something, please reach out now. Or better now when I can talk to you guys in like YouTube comments. Stuff always gets lost over text. All right. Well, it seems nobody has any questions, which hopefully that means I did a good job. For everybody that tuned in, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. What are your views on tier lists? I think tier lists are good. I think it's important to have tier lists if you're trying to take a game seriously because objectively some characters are better than others. So as long as you base a tier list based on matchup spread, where the best characters in the game have the best matchup spread, then the tier list is fine. If you take other things into account, then I don't really see the point of a tier list. Then if it takes like shit like results or whatever, like I think that stuff is stupid. It should just be matchup spread. I think a lot of time. I think Smash Bros is Tekken kind of did this too, but Smash Bros for sure they will always make tier lists based on who wins tournaments or whatever. And I think that's stupid because like just winning a tournament doesn't make your matchup spread better. Either you guys don't know how to write up matchups, which they don't, or they just they're not making an objective tier list. It's obvious, but what is your way of breaking out of a plateau? Um, well, it's actually not obvious, right? Because the whole point of a plateau is you've completely flatlined, so you don't know where to go. Usually, when that happens, I work from the bottom up. Check my fundamentals up first, then work up to game awareness, game state awareness, my execution, matchups, targeted knowledge, targeted practice, and always start from the bottom up. Because if it's a problem from the bottom, it's going to bring everything above it down. So you need to really work on your You need to check your fundamentals first before you always go up. But no, that's not obvious. That's a good question. It's pretty hard to break out of a plateau. I was in one like 2 weeks ago. I had to completely restructure the way I was doing something. Good question, man. Anybody else got anything to add, or are we good to go? Appreciate you, Daisy. How do you go about choosing your main? All right, that's a good question, man. Choosing your main. Um, what I would recommend is learning what your preferred play style is. And this could change based on the game you're playing. Me, I prefer to play like aggro rush down in almost every game except for Street Fighter. So Street Fighter, I actually play zoning. I play defensive, and every other game I like aggro. So you'll see me play Sagat in Street Fighter because that suits my play style. And I like the character, so that's also important. Make sure you like who you play, so you actually enjoy the game. Tekken, I play Armor King. Um, Gundam, I play Master. When I play Smash Bros, I like PM and stuff. I play Falcon. So you have to really pick characters that suit your play style. That's what I recommend. So first, figure out how you want to play the game. Then find a character that you like that plays the game your way. That's my advice. And when I say like a character, I don't mean like I like his combo damage. I mean like literally you like the character, like you like his aesthetics, you like his backstory. And that sounds goofy, right? But when you enjoy, playing as that character, just because you like the way they are, it really makes the game a lot more fun. I think Sajam had a great video where he was like, "Why do you pick your main?" He goes, "You see this character, he does that move, and it looks so cool. You're like, I'm gonna play that character." That was literally me. I played Sagat because he did kickboxing. The immersion, exactly, exactly. You understand? I played Sagat because he did kickboxing, and I did kickboxing. I played Armor King because he stomped people out. I play Master because he just beats the crap out of people with kung fu. That's fire. I play Falcon because Zoom guy go fast. Like that's why I played these characters, and they stuck with me. I've never had a character crisis. The only time I had a character crisis was because Armor King wasn't in Tekken 7, so I didn't know who to play for like 2 years. But I learned the game on Brian, so that helped me out. It was a blessing. But that's how you feel about it. Nice, man. Nice. So in my opinion, you're going around the right way. A lot of my mains I pick because you do the crazy laugh. Yeah, I noticed that about you, Klein. What's with you and that like evil laugh? I don't really know why that's your selling point. Embracing the playstyle is also cool. Yeah, that's what I said. You gotta find a playstyle you like first, then find characters in that fall into that playstyle. So I love Mishimas. Yeah, man. You like you play a lot of fundamental characters. Well, I mean, you play Yang too, but you like Ryu's, you like Shotos, you like Mishimos, you like characters that just play the game. So a good question. Good question. Anybody else got anything, or you got one more? All right, shoot. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for tuning in. I should have referenced you for the psychology part. You knew for me and other stuff. I kept not in my head an agreement. Go. Hey, appreciate you, man. Hard to work, but how would you go about transitioning from 2D to 3D? Okay. Um, it was really hard for me. Yeah. So the way I like to think about it is the first thing what I want people to say about it. So my opinion on it is you have to take the same problem. Okay, good. So this is a good question because more people. Oh, reverse. Oh, okay. So we got both sides of the coin. So here's how I do it. How I would transition is you have to learn what fundamentals are universal. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Spacing is universal. Frame data is universal. Punishment is universal with punishment, block punishment. Uh, let's see. Oki, the concept of Oki, right? Not how you do it. The concept of Oki, knockdowns, advantage on wake up, that's universal. So what's it called? Things that are universal like that. Throw defense, high low blocking. These ideas, right? You want to internalize these concepts, and you go and you apply them to the new game system. Because let's say you come from Street Fighter first, right? We'll do 2D 3. So you learned spacing, you learned neutral, you learned punishment, you learned defense, right? 2D defense. You learned how people kill you for blocking. You learned how to block ambiguous things, etc. Right? You learned how to option select these ideas. So you have these ideas. Now you go and you play Tekken now. We'll use this as an example, and then we'll go backwards. So you take these concepts and you apply them to Tekken. So you know what neutral is in Street Fighter. So what's neutral in Tekken? It's a little different, right? Because instead of jumping, you can move up and down. And forward and backward. So you have to go and adjust your idea of neutral. Spacing is a little different because you can adjust spacing faster, but it's still spacing. You still space to your optimal range. Punishment is the same. You still want to punish things on whiff or block. You can just whiff punish more and block punish less. Throw defense is easier. Um, Oki is way harder because you can die more on Oki, so you have to be a lot more you have to be a lot more worried about Okazemi, and that sort of train of thought. That's how I would go about transitioning: is taking what I know and applying it to something I don't know. But I have that way I have a reference point. So if I went from 3D over, so I take Tekken, right? Let's say we're a Tekken player. We go to Street Fighter. So Street Fighter spacing is the same, but I can't move up and down, and so the neutral's a lot less. It's a lot less layered in that sense, where I can't move up and down, but I can jump. So I have to add jump to that mix. Punishment, a lot more stuff is punishable on block, but not on whiff. So you have to keep that in mind. You're gonna Okazemi's different, invincible moves. Throws are a lot harder to deal with. You have to learn how to block things differently. It's not about high-low mix-ups. It's about cross-ups as well. And you gotta learn how to react to different things, like overheads as opposed to seeable lows. But what you're doing is, and I guess I did a pretty poor job of explaining this because it's kind of something I did without having to think about it. Was you really want to take what you know and fit what you don't know into that mold. If that makes sense, guys. I hope. I mean, you guys can ask more questions to follow up because that's kind of a hard topic for me to explain off the jump. But I think I got my point across. Is that when you're transitioning, you take what you learned from your previous experience and you use it to guide yourself into learning a new system. Because the core concepts of fighting games should always be the same. I say this. Every fighting game can go back to Street Fighter, and you can take those concepts you learned from whatever game you played, and you can apply them to Street Fighter as long as you're playing an actual fighting game. And Street Fighter will teach you how to play every fighting game. Okay, I think because I was really worried I like rambled on too long and I messed up. Habits can be hard to break. I don't know if it's habits. It's just your what's a good way to put this? A good analogy. You're going from swimming to cross country, but you know how to train. That's essentially it. You still know how to work out, but you're doing a different sport. That's really what it is. So while adjusting to the different sport might be hard, you know how to train. So it'll be faster than people who are going into it completely blind. That's really my final take on that topic. Any more? Don't be shy, guys. If you have a question, go ahead and ask. Relax. Stop gassing me up. All right. Oh. All right, guys. I think we're gonna call it here. For everybody that tuned in to this video and the previous one, thank you guys so much. This will also be on my Twitch and on my YouTube as well. So if you guys missed it or you want to rewatch it, you guys can find it there. I'll make sure it uploads in one piece on Twitch on YouTube. I'll figure it out. But again, thanks guys for tuning in. Any questions, you know where to reach me. Uh, you know, my Twitter, Discord, YouTube, Twitch, whatever. And yeah, you have a good night, guys. And keep working on improving. Thanks for tuning in.